And we're ready.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of Hamilton City Council for September the 11th, 2024. A little after 6 o'clock. We're here in City Council chambers, of course, in Hamilton. We do have two public hearings this evening. One involves 48 North Brookwood and a proposed Valvoline location. And secondly, short-term rental. There will be a first reading on each one of those items tonight, but there will be no vote tonight on either the 48 North Brookwood or the short-term rental. Those are all first readings on those two items. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman.
President, I'm sorry.
Pullman,
Present.
Fear, Vaughn,
Present.
Ryan,
Present.
Nab,
Present.
Lauer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Fear for reasons known to council.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, seconded by Councilmember Susan Vaughn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carried. What?
I wasn't expecting, she's supposed to lead the offering of prayer, so that.
Under control.
You got it.
Yes, sir. What's it going to make you do the prayer, Daniel? Okay, we're going to do offering a prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able. Almighty God, let us never forget the attack and tragedy which occurred on September the 11th, 2001. Bless the souls of those murdered civilians, firemen, police, first responders, and all those Americans and their allies who died in the war on terror. And help those who suffer from injuries and disease resulting from the tragedy of September 11th, 2001. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have some special presentations this evening. Ann Combs is here, and I believe we've got somebody that we definitely want to recognize for something very special.
Okay, will Terry come forward?
Right in the middle over here. Yep. Use this. I use this.
Okay. Okay, I have an appearance award for his home, and that's it up there. And that's my sign. So anyway, Terry, thanks for all your hard work in keeping Hamilton looking so nice.
Takes a lot of time to probably weed that, and water all that. That's an incredible amount of work.
And his
That's an
backyard.
incredible amount of work, and you get all those colors up there too. I mean, that looks great. I know you're proud of it.
I am.
And you want to tell us a little bit more about it?
There's not much to say, really. You know, it's just normal stuff we do every year. We plant flowers and edge and do all the yard stuff. It's just
It looks great.
do anything special.
Makes the neighborhood look great. And I might have to give you a call about some expert advice you can give to me. I mean that. Well, you've got that, which is you can hang that anywhere you want to, but it's great, and that looks great on Freeman Avenue. We've also got a certificate of appreciation and a certificate of recognition. City of Hamilton, Ohio. This is certified that Terry Benda of 3518 Freeman Avenue is hereby awarded this certificate of recognition for receiving the July 2024 Home and Garden Appearance Award and for dedication to keeping the city of Hamilton beautiful. Some of myself as mayor, and acknowledged by all members of council. So thank you. How about a round of applause for Terry? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ann, again. Terry couldn't make the July meeting, so we got a chance to get that to him today. What do we have next? Okay. Hey, Joe's all come up here.
make it without a walker. There's lots to hold on to here.
Okay.
Where do you want us at? Just
Any
right
place where you're comfortable and that you,
Hi. I'm comfortable with all these guys.
okay, what number year championship is this? 5.
Fifth, yes.
So you got one for the thumb this year, right?
Yeah, that's right. All
That is-
45. It's a dynasty.
It is a dynasty. And I remember when that name was given to that Woodback Collegiate Baseball League team. It was like really a couple of weeks after Joe Nuxall passed away. And you had the idea, and I think you had a partner, and came up with the idea of we can sponsor, we can have a successful Woodback Collegiate Summer League team. And I mean, it is. I mean, I'm not going to say you're the Steelers or anybody like that, but you, I mean, I don't like to even say the word Steelers, but you have a dynasty. 5 in how many years?
5 out of, actually 16, but we lost one to COVID, so 5 out of 15 years we won a championship. It was second place one time. That was my fault. I sent a guy I shouldn't have sent him. But I was going to let everyone know, we have the best players we bring into town every year for June and July. We have a 35-man roster, plus all the interns and volunteers. We have a great crew. It takes a lot of people to make it happen. It's mostly all run by volunteers and interns. So in the players, I have one player, the first player I signed the first year in 2009. His name happens to be Brent Suter, who pitches for the Reds right now. So that's the kind of quality players we try to get, but he was up here, everybody else is right here. We're trying to get the guys up in there. So he was our first player we ever signed, so we did something right at least one time.
Why don't you introduce the best volunteer ever?
My wife Jill here.
Marty Wright. Concessions.
Maria Tangi, split the pot.
Yeah, she hawks the split the pot now. She goes around there.
Hustle for money.
She hustles every night. She's in there. She has her little apron on. She does a good job. But we're happy to be here in Hamilton and still in the host families. Yes, we're host families. We need approximately 15 host families every year. So if you have an open bedroom at your house that's not being used for anything but storage, please call us. We need that open bedroom to put Joe's players in there for the summer.
Now, you folks play in what, July? Is it June, July? And you've got a playoffs and the whole bit. So, but the thing about Brent Suter, I know you folks have maybe heard of him. High character guy. I mean, I think he played at Moeller, played baseball at Harvard. He interned, I think, at Children's Hospital when he was playing for the Joes. And he's also one of the funniest guys. Look up Brett Suter on YouTube, and you'll see some incredible imitations of people. But he's also a great guy. He's writing books now about how to keep this world green. He and I think the pitcher Hunter, I can't think of his name. Pitches for the Reds. Hunter Green, that's his name. Yeah. So,
I have something to say.
please do. I got
Okay.
people thinking to that. Yeah, she's the boss.
What I want to say is people really don't understand with the Hamilton Joes how it all works. And I'm hoping that people see this in the video and everything, that why do we play in June and July? Because the players are all playing under scholarship at colleges around the world. We had a couple from Taiwan a couple years back that came over and stayed. It was a little difficult. And so once we finish with our June and July, they're ready to go home, get a couple weeks at home, and then head right back to school again. So they're giving up their summers being at home by coming out and playing ball with us. Now, Brent, he stayed with us. We were his host family that first year. So we've got to follow him along and see him grow, and now he has his own family, and it's just been wonderful. But this dream of my husband's actually started at our mailbox. We had moved out into the Walden Ponds area, and him and Mike Brennan were out at the mailbox, and they said, "Oh, you're a Miami University baseball coach in Hamilton." And Daryl said, "Yeah," and he says, "I've talked about a collegiate team coming in and playing in the summer and so forth," and it just blossomed from there. and we've really enjoyed being a big part of it. But when we say we have interns, those interns come in and actually get college credit for the time they're with us. And then, of course, the volunteers that have been with us for, well, Marty probably for the last 2012 she started. She's the outside concession. And we build on that every year, and it's really exciting. What we need is more fans in the stands, because those boys come to play ball, and they play harder than the Cincinnati Reds. But I said that very low, and I say that because they still have something to prove. They want to show they're worthy to move on after college. So when they play hard. And, you know, we end up with a few injuries. You know, sometimes they try a little bit too hard, and that kind of ruins things. But all in all, these boys are great kids. We've never had a complaint about any of our boys coming in and staying with the host families, and it's just been wonderful. So please pass the word. When you see the Hamilton Joes are in town, June and July, come down to, we're right behind Booker T. Washington, the YMCA branch, and it's called Foundation Field. And we have a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll see you out at the ballpark. Thank you. Our players travel away. We're finally able to do more of the traveling. COVID kind of really put on it. And so our teams go all the way up to the southern part of Michigan, and then down here to the Ohio River line. There have been quite a few teams that have dropped out, but we raise money to be able to get the big bus line, to take them in a comfortable bus to go to their away games, and they're normally away for 2 to 3 games on a stint. So, you know, it works really, really well. We're really hot on social media now. Daryl's and my grandchildren are all in marketing and communications up at Ohio State. So we couldn't ask for a better social media now. We have just been so blessed with that. Anything else, volunteers? No? We're really good, yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you, Pat.
A couple more things real quick. High character players are in this league. Joe Nuxhall would love these players. I'm really positive of that. The admission fee doesn't cost much. What is it, like $5? Beverages and food is also inexpensive.
Best burgers in town.
Best burgers in town. I bet you if you go to one game, you'll go to several games after that. And they've had 17 strong nights and Chamber of Commerce night and all that kind of stuff. So a round of applause for the champions.
We worked her too hard this summer.
Yeah. Oh, this is life. Just kidding. My life. You guys go ahead.
No, stay right there a second.
Yeah.
Okay, we now go to audience of citizens. Individuals who wish to speak may make comments during this part of the agenda, or may speak when the item is up for a vote on the council floor. All individuals who intend to speak are required to sign this blue public speaking book, and each speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes. Looks like we have Marilyn first. Hi. You want to come on up and give us your name and your address and why you are here?
Good evening. My name's Marilyn Tunat. I live at 2 East Persimmon Drive in the Hickory Woods subdivision, or, well, HOA. People call it a subdivision. We call it an HOA. I'm here because I feel like in some ways that we've been misled. The last time I attended a meeting, which has been a couple of months ago, I was told that the vote you were going to take regarding the HOAs and the other parts of the community with short-term rentals was going to be divided into 3 votes. You all decided no, you didn't take it up because you were going to have, Liz was going to work on it with the Planning Commission. They were going to address it in 3 sections. Then the next time that I come, I find out that It was voted down. We're not going to do that. And that was very misleading. I think there's a lot of confusion within the communities of the people that I've talked to. I know for sure within ours. The last time I talked to Liz on the phone, she's very pleasant to talk to, we discussed the fact that even if you do not want to, if the city lawyers feel like they don't want to or have to abide by the HOA rules that are filed under the Ohio Revised Code, filed with the county as a lawful document that says we do not allow or accept any short-term rentals, that you don't have to abide by that you can still give a license to someone who does not live within the neighborhood. There are investors that live far away, that you are setting up our community for failing, because we have 5 of them in a row. These people came in and they bought these homes. No one seemed to care that this was not allowed. I think they were misled, but we are still pursuing that lawsuit. We're waiting for final judgment from the judge. We did win on summary judgment. But coming up, there's a renewal for that license. If those licenses are renewed because you don't care about our HOA rules, then that could prolong more litigation, the way that we look at it. We will continue to pursue legal means to make this stop within our community. We have narrow streets. We have houses very close together. And in reading the document, I understand that people will be notified if someone is within 100 feet. That's no problem. These houses are 10 feet apart. They built these last 5 homes under the idea that they were going to cram in as many as they could within a small space. We are mostly 55 and older in this community. There's a gentleman right across the street from a very active Airbnb, which they are still renting, where there are big trucks that come in late at night. They make a lot of noise. This gentleman is like 88 years old. It's very upsetting that he gets awoken, and the wife is very upset. This is supposed to be our homes where we have quiet rules. We have very small yards on purpose, because we're at that point where we don't want to put all the time in that gentleman did such a very nice job with, for the community. Although our yards are very well done because we have rules that we are following. We follow our rules. We accept all of the city's laws and rules, but as this comes forward, we have standing within the community. We are not Highland Park. We are not just a neighborhood. We are a unique HOA. And I can read to you from the codes and regulations and the covenants, but it's all filed. I can send you all another copy of it. However, I believe that within your new document, there should be a thing where if you don't care about those rules, you should be able to say to someone who's coming in and wants to purchase a home and get a license to say, have you contacted the HOA board to make sure that that you are following these rules? I find that to be only reasonable. I think that should be in writing, because if it's not in writing, then it didn't happen. I taught in schools for almost 40 years. Everything we did with families and children had to be documented in writing, or it didn't happen. You all know that this is how government works. This is how schools work. This is how everything with good faith works. I feel like we've been let down. I'm asking for Hickory Woods HOA to have a special aside, and this will be true for all the HOAs that are within the city of Hamilton. And there are people actively right now putting these things in their covenants. Ours has been there since 2012 to say, have you at least contacted the HOA board to make sure that you are following the covenants, rules, and regulations as stipulated within the Ohio Revised Code? Because otherwise we have needless lawsuits where we have to put lots of money out on the line. We intend to get all of our money that we've put back, but at this point, we've spent almost $18,000. Our residents don't want their funds to go to that, because it's supposed to be in a fund that's for our storm sewers, which we work with the city on. We want to maintain a good relationship with the city, but we maintain our own storm sewers. And so if you come to us and say, the outlet has a lot of work that needs to be done, looks like it's going to be about $100,000, our account needs to be flush with that money. We're trying to do our fiduciary duty. I would like for you all to do the same. So please don't just push it off as saying, oh, well, somebody else in the community will ask for the same. Your HOAs are separate and different. And if you want to consider that, I think you should at least make that a separate kind of a statement in writing within that document. I've looked through the document multiple times. It doesn't cover us. It does not make it clear. We were told there'd be zoning issues that would come up. That's all been tabled from what I understand. There's no zoning things happening from what I've understood from conversations. So please consider our plea. I'm going to stay around. I wanted to hit this early so you have some time to think about it before we go through the first reading, because we are concerned. I'm coming representing 69 families that live within your city that are all very worried. So thank you for your time. If you have any
I want to say a
questions.
couple things, if that's okay. First off,
Sure.
we do care.
I know
this
you
went to
do.
the Planning Commission.
Yeah, I know you do.
You've come to council. We've been contacted, I believe, by you and from other members of the community. I mean, I have not read those HOA declarations, but we did hear, I think probably from that podium, that you were successful in your litigation. Okay? This is just a first reading tonight.
Right.
We don't vote until the second reading. If you have some suggestions, great, send them our way. I mean, if your concern is how we give notice to people, I mean, that's been kind of the concern for others as well. Like when you've got an HOA, does the auditor have something which maybe they can help direct to somebody looking at auditor's records, whether or not there's an HOA? Realtors, I think, have to do their job.
Realtors do, it has to be on the contract.
Got to do their job.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways, I think, to get that out there. But this is just a first reading tonight, and no vote. And like I said, if you've got some suggestions, send them our way. But this has been talked about a lot, got us to this point. So let's just kind of see what
In my opinion, the document is weak and doesn't help us in our cause. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Greg Bisdorf.
Hello, council, citizens. I'm here today to invite council specifically and residents of Hamilton. I'm Greg Bisdorf, live at 715 Corwin Avenue. I'm here to invite everybody to Christian's Corn Stand Jam. It is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 21st. It is a mental health awareness. We raise funds for scholarships for kids that have been affected or going into fields of study for mental health. We also give funding for community organizations that look at mental health issues. It is at River's Edge in Markham Park. It's going to be the biggest one we've had so far. Again, on the 21st of September, noon to 10. It's an all-day event. There'll be bands playing, 6 bands playing from noon to 10. Those bands are playing in honor of lost loved ones. And then we will also be having mental health community organizations set up as well that we can reach out if anybody needs to and have information to get in contact with them. It is a family event, so we do have petting zoo, a kid zone, and then there will be fireworks afterwards. And this is just a mental health awareness to try to take away the stigma of even talking about mental health and help funds to get kids and people that are looking to help mental health awareness in our community. So I invite you to join us on September 21st, noon to 10, anytime throughout the day, and come and have a good day with us. Time with us. Do you have any questions on that?
A couple comments. You know, you've got Jimmy Younger back there.
Yes.
And, your concert has created discussion. That what needs to take place is discussion and then doing. And you've also gotten to the doing stage, because I know Corn Stand Jam has generated a children's book, which has won awards, which is being read by students in school, that it's okay to not, it's okay to be not okay. It's generated research dollars, education in schools. I mean, people can talk about mental illness, But you folks, your group of volunteers, Jimmy, has gone more than just talk. And it's been very successful. And just keep doing it, and you're saving lives. You're getting people out of difficult situations, out of difficult times in their lives. So I think all the council is
If all our
set
efforts
behind you.
If all our efforts help one person, it's well worth it.
Right. I mean, we're all behind you. And if Rich Engel was here, I would thank him because he's going to have a Court Stand Jam on the sign coming into downtown. And that's a big deal. And hopefully you'll have the biggest crowd ever, which means a lot of knowledge going out there.
Yes.
Any comments from council?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Lauer?
I just want to say thank you, especially to Greg. I know you put a lot of work into this, but especially to Jimmy Unger, who takes the time to reach out to families who are at times devastated. It's a very courageous job that you and your team do. I appreciate what this event brings to Hamilton, but as a school teacher who sees a lot of students suffering from mental illness, I appreciate all the behind-the-scenes work that your team does, Jimmy, and you are to be commended for everything that you do. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Pullman?
Again, ditto what they said, Jim. Great, thanks for what you do. Just for the record, for Facebook crowd, live TV Hamilton, can you tell the day's events, is there a cost to it? And
The event's
what
free. Anybody's welcome.
Okay.
It is family friendly. Like I said, we have a kid zone that'll be open. I believe that's noon to 6. Bounce house, corn maze, various yard games that kids can play.
How many bands? Or?
There's 6 bands throughout the day. They're all local, but
Good.
they are excellent. It is the best lineup we've had. So, and we are, like I said, we are planning for the biggest crowd we've had in the 6 years that it's been going on. So it kind of started in a back parking lot and has grown to what it is now. So,
Good. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Good.
I hope to see
Thank
everybody
you.
there.
Anybody else? Okay, if we applaud you, you take the applaud back to all your volunteers?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, that takes care of audience of citizens. We now go to the consent agenda, which includes all staff reports, caucus reports. We're going to go to the committee of the whole, which gives city council the opportunity to ask questions, provide direction, or comment on the reports. So I'll set the motion as the regular meeting be recessed and the committee of the whole take place.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Nab, second by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried. We go into committee of the whole at 6:33. Okay. Daniel?
Okay, so for our first presentation this evening, we'll have a caucus report presented by our Director of Utility Operations, Mr. Bill Hudson.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens of Hamilton. I'm here to request a range adjustment to Schedule A class of employees for electric distribution superintendent and electric power system superintendent. The range adjustments to make the position competitive, salaries. As everyone knows, market price is going up, and these are hard to fill positions, and the people we have in it are constantly getting offers from other companies, and I'd like to keep them in town and keep our systems reliable in that, and that's all this one is about. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up for agenda item number 2 will be a presentation by our Finance Director, Mr. Dave Jones.
Good evening, members of council, mayor, citizens. So this is an annual process that's in conjunction with the tax budget. Council passed the tax budget back on July 10th. The tax budget goes to the Butler County Budget Commission. The Budget Commission reviews that. Then they have to estimate the rates and the levies to the city. City council then by resolution must certify those rates, and then it goes back to the county auditor. There's no changes from last year. Are there any questions on that one?
Questions, comments? Thank you, Dave.
Next up for items 3, 6, and 7, we'll have a presentation by our Director of Engineering, Mr. Alan Messer.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. This is a project that actually the ODOT, Ohio Rail Development Commission, is doing at the intersection of Maple and State Route 4 and at the railroad crossing. And the purpose of it is to improve the safety there by getting people off the railroad tracks, because if you look at that, the railroad's right there by the roadway, and so to clear the intersection is kind of the purpose of it. As part of it, they're taking out 2 of the crosswalks that really don't go anywhere on the northwest corner and replacing it with the crosswalk over at the next block. Redoing all the signals and having it where there's essentially a preemption for the gate crossing. So there is no cost to the city. This would just be allowing consent for ODOT to do the project within the city.
Thank you for championing the project. Thank you.
Actually, Scott Hoover's been the champion for this
Help
one, but
Scott.
I'll extend that to him.
Mr. Mayor,
Please.
can I ask one question?
Please.
Alan, how long is it going to be closed, and do you have timing on that yet?
The timing would be the end of '25. It's
Okay.
an ODOT project. It's been in the works for quite a while. We don't have even final drawings yet.
Okay.
And it'd be, I would estimate about a month of actual closing. The road construction itself would be more like 3 months.
All right. I know it causes everyone to perk up when you say changing the railroad crossing and blockages, and so that's great. Next year, late.
Yes, truly is an improvement.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's needed. Yeah. Thank you.
This is a resolution for our annual grant application to Ohio Public Works. This one is for paving for $1.14 million for paving. I won't go through the whole list of streets, but they are all on the east side this year with the exception of Gordon. This is a list of those streets, so you get a flavor of where they're located. The money would become available next July, so the application is due the 27th of this month, and then it goes to scoring. But essentially, we get this grant every year, and it's a big portion of our street paving.
Could you blow that, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, please, go ahead.
Could you blow that up a little larger?
Are you able to blow it up, Daniel? The bulk of the streets are in Jefferson, Riverview. It's a lot of streets that you wouldn't be surprised by seeing them on the list.
I'm anxious. I'm excited that we are looking into some of these streets and moving forward on them. I believe that this is a major move forward to addressing some of the issues in our neighborhoods that have been have fallen over the years, the streets and infrastructure, and I think that this is a great move forward, and I appreciate your work in getting the grants moving in this direction to redeveloping some of our neighborhoods that are older and need some support. So I'm when I seen the streets on there, I'm very excited.
Is that, you good with that one? Or?
You good with that?
Yes.
This is another application. This one is for a loan. It's a zero interest loan that would be paid back over 30 years. It would go towards our water main replacement. It would pay for approximately half of the project. We would ask for more, but district-wide, there's only a little over $2 million available, and so we're requesting our fair share, essentially. The project itself is, again, in some of our underserved areas. This is Grand, you see the list there, Grand, Lincoln, Parrish, see Parkamo, and these are needed not just because of the number of breaks and the age of these water mains, but because the water mains themselves are smaller diameter, and at that age they fill with basically corrosion to the point that you have very little water flow through them. So these are what we call low flow areas, and this will improve the water flow and reliability to this area. Any questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Knapp.
Ellen is, Councilman Lauer shared his vision for what might be going on in some of the lesser served areas. Congratulations again on these areas in the north end that'll be then graduated into the newer piping and things like that for our water and things. So we've noted the last week there's been activity on Grand Boulevard with piping going bad and things like that. So I'm glad again you're in front of it, and I'm glad the team are looking at it and saying, again, the provision for grant money and next year and things like that. So again, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Alan.
Next up for agenda item number 4 will be a presentation from our city clerk, Daniel Tidyman. Hello, Mayor and members of council. Daniel Tidyman, city clerk. I've got a short presentation regarding a liquor permit transfer application. This permit is for a existing drive-through at 1255 Central Avenue. I believe it's Smith's drive-through is that it's currently doing business as, and the permits in question are C1 and C2 liquor permits. These are beer and wine prepackaged products to be consumed off premises. It's my understanding there's no change in the intensity of this use. They're not selling liquor, it's just beer and wine products. And our city departments, health, building, and fire have all reviewed this application. They've had time to do their inspections. They have no objections to this permit application. So found in your caucus report is a recommendation from staff to not object to this application. Do you have any questions for me?
Mr. Mayor, I just have one question. Is this a name change? It's the same address, is that correct?
It's the same address, different ownership.
Okay, just a different owner. Okay,
correct.
Got it. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And next up for agenda item number 5 will be a presentation from our planning director, Ms. Lauren Nelson.
Good evening. This is just a simple heads up of an alley vacation process that is starting. On these slides, this is zoomed out a little farther just to kind of orient you where this is on Bennyhoffen. A little closer, just showing specifically the alley, the block that it is on. And again, showing the alley. So this came at the request of our Public Works Department. So this is before you, again, just informational that this process will be started. So it will be going to Planning Commission, public notices will be sent, and it will be coming back to you all with an update following that process. So does anyone have any questions?
Questions? Thank you.
And that concludes our presentations.
Great. I'll accept the motion that we come out of the committee of the whole. The committee of the whole be closed, I'm sorry. Moved. Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman.
Second.
Seconded by Council Member Susan Vaughn. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion is carried. The time is 6:44. I'll accept the motion that the regular meeting be reconvened.
So moved.
Second. By Councilmember Knapp. Seconded by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 6-0.
So we reconvene regular meeting at 6:45. Now accept the motion. Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that with the exception of the item so noted, council receives a report of the consent agenda and concur on the recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Nab. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign, hearing none. The motion is carried at 6:45. Now go to the public hearing section of the agenda. Now set the motion that the regular meeting be recessed and the following public hearings take place.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Vaughn. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, hearing none. That motion is carried at 6:46. If you'll read the first public hearing into the record.
Agenda item number 8, a public hearing regarding a preliminary and final plan development proposal and specific use request at 48 North Brookwood Avenue to allow Valvoline Instant Oil Change Use Automotive Repair on property zoned BPD Business Plan Development with one variance request to the zoning ordinance. Brent Myers, Casto applicant.
Anyone in the audience which should be heard at this public hearing involving this 48 North Brookwood Avenue preliminary and final plan development proposal? Anyone in the audience wish to be heard at this public hearing involving this 48 North Brookwood Avenue project? Anyone on council wish to be heard?
Mayor.
Wish to make a motion at this time?
I believe that one of the gentlemen might be moving toward the...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Come
That's
on up
okay.
here. I was too busy reading and not looking.
I saw the action in the audience, and I thought, I think...
You saw the edginess. Good evening. I'll make this quick. My name is Eric Leibowitz, 250 Civic Center Drive, Columbus, here from Casto. Instead of Brent, he and his wife welcomed their first child last week, so you're stuck with myself, Dan Leathery, and Kelly Sweeterman from CESO. Just want to say thank you for having us. We'd be happy to answer any questions, but also want to thank staff. The experience, it's our first experience in Hamilton. It's been great from the first call. We've got nothing but quick responses, lots of feedback, and that's all we can ask for when we're looking to acquire property and invest. So any questions, we're happy to answer them, but it's been a great experience. And we know tonight's a public hearing, but when the vote occurs, we would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a great city team, and thank you for that compliment. Okay. Anyone else in the audience? Anyone on council wish to be heard or wish to make a motion at this time?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Nab.
I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Councilmember Nab, second by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 6:48. We now go into the next public hearing. If you'll read that, Mr. City Clerk.
Agenda item number 9, a public hearing regarding a proposed amendment to the City of Hamilton Codified Ordinances, Chapter 758, pertaining to short-term rental licenses. City of Hamilton applicant.
Okay. All right. I apologize. I did not grab the book on the first hearing, but you did come up and speak, and the other individuals with you do not wish to speak. Okay. All right. Marilyn, you've already spoke in the audience as citizens. I've got down, Dan Acton, you wish to speak at this public hearing?
Yes.
You read it into the record already, is that right, Mr. City Clerk?
Yes, I read the public hearing into the record.
Because I was grabbing the books because I forgot to check the books out. State your name and your address, please.
Dan Acton, 410 Columbia Road, Hamilton, Ohio, 45013. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I do have a couple concerns on that. I've spoken at length with Liz Haydenover. She's always been very easy to talk to and pleasant, so I appreciate her professionalism in that. But a couple concerns have come up. There are a couple House bills that I've worked with in Columbus, House Bill 193 in the last General Assembly, and certainly in this General Assembly, Senate Bill 299, I believe. I'd ask you to take a look at those. But some questions in reading through Liz's presentation. Will the noise levels impacting residential areas be clarified and enforced. Some of you on council are aware of a particular situation that hits close to home, and I think that's something that needs to be codified and clarified and enforced if you're going to do it. There's no sense in having a toothless tiger out there. And some comments that have come in the past that, well, just one complaint is not enough. We have to have multiple complaints is not well received, not well taken, and I believe arbitrary and capricious, but I digress. There's also a section in there that deals with a lodging tax. Is that part of this? And sorry, Liz just sent this to me. I caught her on the fly, so I'm trying to speed read through it. Was the lodging tax part of this proposal? It certainly is mentioned in it. If it is, I want to be sure that, if short-term rentals are going to be considered hotels for the lodging tax, will hotels be treated like residential rentals for eviction purposes? We can't have one or the other. It's, we want them to be treated like equally. They need to be equal in a number of ways. If we're going to be treated like hotels, we're going to have take up more parking by having to have the city come out and mark off handicap parking in front so that the availability is there should a client come in that has those particular needs, et cetera. And if that taxing scheme is part of it, would the short-term rentals be given equal size ads and other promotions by the Convention Visitors Bureau? It seems patently unfair to have short-term rentals. The proceeds from those benefit large corporate owners of perhaps franchised hotels. It seems punitive. And since rental income is already taxed and verifiable through the various booking services, it seems to be punitive and duplicitous to further tax those properties. Also, there's a section in there that deals with 5 days to remedy issues. And I don't know, perhaps Liz and I could have some more conversation in the next couple of weeks or something on that. But that seems kind of short depending on what issues they are to remedy. I mean, if you have a noisy guest or some trash in the yard, that might work. But if there's something that's noted that's more of a construction type basis than just a simple phone call or a site visit to clear things up, that certainly seems a little shy. Page 10 speaks of the number of calls to any city entity, the police, fire, zoning, health department, et cetera, calls for service. Would those be limited? And I'm sorry, Your Honor, Mr. Mayor, as you know, I'm not an attorney, so I'm just trying to wade through this. Perhaps you could clarify this at some point, but would those complaints be limited only to bona fide calls, or would a false call for trash issues or noise be counted against those owners?
I am right now making a list, so when you get done, I'll read my list back to you.
My Santa Claus list. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. And then last but not least, the penalty section states that proof of delivery notices would be the owner's responsibility. That seemed unusual that owners would have to verify and potentially attest in a court to a negative. So I'm not sure if some further cleanup could be done for that or if that was the intent, but certainly to prove a negative is highly unusual to say the least. So I appreciate the efforts of council to address this. I think most of the changes that are in there seem very reasonable. Full disclosure, I do represent the Ohio Real Estate Investors Association, have for a decade in Columbus and around the state, where certainly some other communities have been much more punitive toward those investors, or Bob and Betty Buckeye that are retired and due to skyrocketing property taxes and utility bills, they just want to rent out another bedroom in the house to try and bring in additional money a couple times a month or something like that. So I appreciate the city's recent efforts on that, to kind of rein in some of the abuses and just know what's going on. So thank you very much for that.
I know across the state, different cities are handling things differently. And you said House Bill 193 and Senate Bill 299? House
Bill 193 was in the last General Assembly. Okay. Right now, Senator Andy Brenner has Senate Bill 299 that we're a part of.
I got down noise enforcement, lodging tax, parking. You did mention large corporate ownership. amount of days to remedy an issue, penalty section. I mean, those are some of the matters that
Pretty well sums it up. And if you have any questions, certainly you've been very good with your time about reaching out or for clarification purposes. So for that matter, all the members of council have been very good that I've ever dealt with as far as responsiveness and things. So if any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. So I did have 2 people who signed the book, Marilyn, who already spoke, and who spoke. Okay. Now, again, this is not a vote tonight on this issue. That will just be in front of council for a vote at our last meeting in September. Then that the planned time frame would be second vote. Second reading would be the second meeting in September.
Yes.
Right. That does change. Please check our agendas online, and that'll tell you. All right. That's it. That's all I've heard about the public hearing. Everybody else signed the book. Anyone else wish to speak at the public hearing on short-term rentals? I mean, Marilyn, I think you already did speak, and you know that we will continue the open door of communication. Dan, the same thing for you. All right. Is there anyone on council wish to make a comment at this time or wants to make a motion at this time?
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Coleman.
I actually have some questions.
Sure.
And it's going to be directed to Liz. So Liz, and it's concerning Hickory Woods because I know Hickory Woods pretty well. With all the new rules that we've got on here with the, you talk about, there's Maryland, it's Maryland, right? Did I say that right? Yeah, okay. So you made a comment about people staying over there that are workers and that are staying there. They have large trucks?
Very large trucks.
Okay, and they're blocking the sidewalks because those driveways are not very big,
We
right?
don't have sidewalks. We just have narrow streets. We have no sidewalks.
Okay, but they hang almost onto the street, so they're in the easement of the, they're in the easement. So under the new rules about renewing their license, wouldn't this say that they're obstructing, they shall not overhang the right-of-way of including the sidewalk? These violations, wouldn't that be a violation of license renewal?
Yes, that is very much an issue that we're aware of in Hickory Woods and a lesson learned that got incorporated in the proposed changes.
Because I see there, I mean, I'll have to be honest with you, HOA should handle that in there. That's why I don't want to ban that there. But the other thing is, I know I used to own a shop up the street from you, and I used to take a lot of customers back there. And I know how narrow those driveways are because I would drop a customer off and back out, and I know it's tight, okay? So if we're putting a four-door F450 truck in there overnight, that's hanging out on the street almost.
People that come in as itinerant workers are bringing in much bigger vehicles than that as
Right.
well. And
And
so I addressed that with the management. They try to get that resolved, but it doesn't change the fact they're not supposed
Yeah, and
It,
and the
it
thing
doesn't change the fact that they're not supposed to be there, period. And so I think that there needs to be something within those rules that say, make sure you've done your due diligence because it turns into a lawsuit.
But in the,
We don't want those licenses renewed, and just that simple, they should not be there.
and I don't blame you, and it's, I think with some of the new rules in there,
It doesn't.
until we can get to another point on this, I think these rules should be enforced, and we should
Well,
not renew any of these licenses of these people that are breaking the rules on that.
So should I make a list and send it to Liz as to what I'm also sending to the management?
That was my next question is, Liz, what is she supposed to do if they see these hanging out on the street here? Do we report to the police department, or do we call 911 and say they're in violation, or do we take pictures of it and bring it to the city? What's going to be their avenue on this?
So definitely reach out to the city one way or another, because even though it's not that I don't believe people, but we do, a city, for it to be a true violation that we could fine someone or suspend or revoke a license, a city employee needs to go out and document it. And so if it's during, regular working hours, the, planning department would be happy we have short-term rentals are listed on our My Hamilton 311 app that you can submit there, or, people can call. But my understanding is that particular violation is also a violation of our traffic code. So somebody could call the police as well. And of course, that's what we do tell people, because one of our most common things is maybe a party at 2 a.m. and they'll tell me the next day, and I'm like, of course I believe you, but please, we have to have it documented. So that is typically what
As the owners out there too, for right now, if I see those trucks hanging out there, where they're not supposed to, document it with pictures to give to the city. If you're not going to call the police department, and I just want to make sure that was the right way to do it. But I do understand where you're at with that, and those trucks are pretty large. These construction trucks, and those driveways aren't going to handle those. I know that right now. So I mean, there's no way that they're going to handle that large truck without being in the easement. Okay, so. That's what I was trying to get through, is to make sure that we can, under these, that there's a way to document this for you to, do it the right way. Trying to get that out the right way. But yeah, it's, and the 311 app is excellent. It's, because you can take your pictures right there and document it right there, time and everything. So do you know how to use that 311 app? Okay. That's a perfect app to sit there and get the pictures and timestamp and everything and location. And that's pretty much, I think it's pretty much foolproof if it's done right, correct? Yeah. So, all right. Thank you. That was my question.
Marilyn, I want to read the judgment entry. I want to know what relief was awarded your homeowners association. I don't want you to tell me now, but I would like to read.
The judge has to do the final.
Okay. Well, that might say a few things that could be very pertinent to what you're asking for, because there's got to be some relief awarded. You've already ruled in favor of the homeowners association, correct?
The magistrate.
Magistrate did. Okay, so the judge has to go ahead and approve that. Okay.
And they'll appeal it.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Knapp, could very well happen.
Marilyn, over the years that I've served on city council, now almost 15, I've had a number of neighbors that have called me about concerns in neighborhoods throughout the city.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I've had a number of calls in my 15 years from neighbors throughout the city that have concerns about their properties. Would you suggest that any of your residents are concerned that if they would supply a call, supply a complaint, that there could be any kind of recourse against them? When you mentioned an 88-year-old gentleman that's awakened at 2 o'clock in the morning with rumbling trucks and things like that, do you have any neighbors that you would say, you don't have to name names, but are any of those people concerned about a 311 or calling the police for fear of any recourse?
I have 9 residents that have no internet. They don't use email. They don't use apps. They don't have smartphones. They have a home phone.
And that's why people call us, looking for some opportunity to have a voice. And you've been very kind these last months to come and be the voice for your 69 residents. That's where I was going with that. And we all get it.
Yeah.
And to have issues, as you said, not simply a larger pickup truck, but larger vehicles that are on those 5 properties that are having some question that you're bringing us again tonight, I find very, very troublesome. So I'll look forward to a vote again in the end of September, or whenever that may come to the floor. We appreciate your input and everything you've shared with us tonight, your demeanor over these last months and being able to share. We heard from Mr. Acton tonight about some other community things that are going on that he has questions of from our residents. We're also aware of the situation in Highland Park and the petition and all of those things. So none of us on council are immune to any of things that you're sharing with us tonight. There is a 1 or 2 other people here tonight from the Highland Park community that we recognize. So it'll be interesting to see what these next couple of weeks bring to us. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. Thank you for hearing our issues.
No one else who wishes to speak in the audience on short-term rental? Motion anybody on council wishes to make at this time?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Councilmember Vaughn, seconded by Vice Mayor Pullman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:05. I'll accept the motion to regular meeting be reconvened.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Nab, seconded by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 6-0.
Regular meeting reconvened at 7:05. We now go to council actions pertaining to legislative items, and I'll accept motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Ryan.
move that the regular meeting be reconvened. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Getting excited. Move that the note, oops, hold on a second. Where am I?
Here, notes.
Oh, there it is. I move that a note be made upon the minutes that each member of council be furnished with a printed copy of each item of legislation prior to its being considered at this meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Ryan, seconded by Vice Mayor Pullman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:06. We now go to pending legislation and agenda item number 10, which is the second reading of an ordinance involving quadricycles pilot program.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Part 3 Traffic Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Hamilton, Ohio by adding Chapter 350 Commercial Quadricycles Pilot Program relative to authorizing and regulating commercial quadricycles in the City of Hamilton, Ohio, a second reading.
Mayor,
Councilmember Nab.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Councilmember Nab, seconded by Vice Mayor Pullman. Discussion on this ordinance.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I'd just like to make a few comments about this. I've done a lot of studying about this since the last meeting. And I actually have talked to someone who's interested in bringing it to the city. And I personally, I've never ridden on a quadricycle or a pedal wagon, but I have some concerns, serious concerns about it. I know that they're asking for an exemption on this, and it's planned that the quadricycle will be riding on High Street and Main Street. I see that as a very possible contributor to the congestion of two main thoroughfares. We have semis, we have cars, we have trucks, we have motorcycles, and I will tell you, sit at Fretboard one night or Basil outside, and you will see. I cannot imagine a vehicle traveling with up to 15 people on it at less than 10 miles an hour. I know that it has been suggested that once they cross the bridge going west on Main Street, it will stop at intersections, turn right, and that's where passengers will get off and on. That's fine, but we are going into a two-lane of traffic traveling at less than 10 miles an hour between the hours of 9 a.m. and midnight. I also am concerned about the fact that you bring your own alcohol onto it, 36 ounces of beer and 18 ounces of wine. There's no alcohol being sold on the vehicle, but you bring your own. It's a 2-hour ride. If I do my math, and I've studied this a bit, 1 drink an hour, 12 ounces of beer, or 4 to 6 ounces of wine means that safely you could consume one or the other within about a 3-hour period, an hour for each of those drinks. This vehicle is intended to stop at other establishments where alcohol is sold, so people can get off and on. They must drink at the premise. They can't bring Dora cups onto the vehicle. You can't take your alcohol off the vehicle. So for me, I guess my biggest concern is I don't see the enhancement for recreation in our city by having a wagon that travels the city encouraging alcohol consumption. I know that it's also potentially intended to be perhaps a shopping trip. So maybe a group of women get on and off at different boutiques. But in fact, where I've seen them, it's been for drinking purposes. And I think it's dangerous. The pedaling is optional. There will be a driver. They will be certified. I know they are highly insured, but I don't care how much insurance. I believe one accident is going to be one too many in our city. I think it will cause frustration, traffic, and again, I just wish I saw the enhancement to recreation. So for me, I love entrepreneurship. I love people that want to bring something new and different to Hamilton. I wish it wasn't on main thoroughfares, especially high in Main, during high traffic, low traffic, early morning, late night. And I just wanted to make that statement. I've asked other people, varying opinions, but that's mine.
Other discussion, other comments? I just want to mention that this is called a pilot program, and the fact that council may repeal the ordinance at any time for any reason. Is that accurate, Madam Director?
That's correct. We do, just to be clear, we currently have this already on the books for the city of Hamilton. So it's...
We may can repeal this at any time.
Correct.
Modify it at any time.
Correct.
Other discussion? Other comments? Okay, we've got a first, second. Ready for a roll call vote?
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
No.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
That ordinance is adopted 5-1.
We now go to agenda item number 11, which is second reading of an ordinance involving a sale and development agreement with Hamilton Hospitality Incorporated.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute a sale and development agreement, property conveyance, and related actions related to certain real property located at South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and High Street, City of Hamilton seller, Hamilton Hospitality Incorporated purchaser, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, seconded by Councilmember Ryan. Discussion or comments on this particular ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted 6-0.
Go to agenda item number 12, second reading of an ordinance involving a sale and development agreement with SKA Investments LLC.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute a sale and development agreement for certain real property located at 3040 Dixie Highway, City of Hamilton property owner, SKA Investments LLC, purchaser, the second reading.
Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Comments or questions or discussion on this one? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted 6-0.
Go to agenda item number 13, second reading of an ordinance involving the area around 20 High Street.
An ordinance dedicating a 933 square foot portion of in lots 243, 244, 245, and 246, 20 High Street as right-of-way located at Market Street and High Street, Second Ward, City of Hamilton applicant, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Lauer. Discussion or comment on this one? Okay. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted 6-0.
Go to agenda item number 14, second reading of an ordinance involving 20 High Street and change into a business plan development district.
An ordinance amending the zoning district of properties of 20 High Street from DT1 High Street Form-Based District to BPD Business Plan Development District and the preliminary and final PD Plan Development approval to allow a hotel associated accessory and tenant uses. City of Hamilton applicant. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Nab.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
By Councilmember Nab, second by Vice Mayor Pullman. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
We go to agenda item number 15, second reading of an ordinance also involving the 20 High Street area.
An ordinance vacating adjacent portions of right-of-way at 20 High Street situated in the 2nd Ward, City of Hamilton, Ohio, to include the southern portion of Market Street right-of-way and western portion of North Monument Avenue right-of-way, the west portion of Market Street right-of-way, and west of existing building and north of High Street right-of-way. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second. Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Lauer. Comments, questions, discussion on this one? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
Okay, we go to agenda item number 16, second reading of an ordinance involving Knightsbridge Drive Central Avenue location.
An ordinance dedicating a 4,149 square foot portion of lots 2481 and 2842 as right-of-way located at Knightsbridge Drive and Central Avenue, situated in the 2nd Ward, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton applicant. Second reading.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Vaughn. Discussion on this one. Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
We go to agenda item number 17, which is the second reading of an ordinance involving right-of-way in the area of North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
An ordinance dedicating a 3,327 square foot portion of Outlot 19, 421 Dayton Street as right-of-way located at North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard between Dayton Street and Butler Street, situated in the 4th Ward, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton applicant. Second reading.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Nab. Comments? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
Go to agenda item number 18, second reading of an ordinance involving a major amendment to Plan Hamilton involving the Hamilton Parks Plan.
An ordinance approving a major amendment to Plan Hamilton, adopting the Shaping the Future of Hamilton's Parks Plan to the Comprehensive Plan. City of Hamilton applicant. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Ryan. Questions on this one? Roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
Thank you. We go to agenda item number 19, second reading of an ordinance involving Benninghoffen Avenue Alley B.
An ordinance vacating Benninghoffen Avenue Alley B between Hooven Avenue and Clinton Avenue and Hooven Avenue Alley between Benninghoffen Avenue Alleys A and B, situated in the 6th Ward, South Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Councilmember Vaughn, second by Vice Mayor Pullman. Comments on this one? None. Roll call.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
And we now go to agenda item number 20, second reading of an ordinance involving our 911 facility and Butler County Coroner facility.
An ordinance approving the preliminary and final PD plan development proposal at 1800 Princeton Road to allow a joint 911 facility and Butler County Coroner facility on property zoned OPD office plan development with 5 variances to the zoning ordinance. Olivia Weir, Bayer Becker applicant. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Nab.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nab, second by Councilmember Ryan. Discussion or comments on this one? Okay, roll call.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
Okay. We're going to go to 21. Let the record reflect that Councilmember Lauer has left the council chambers. And second reading of an ordinance involving 1931 Logan Avenue.
An ordinance appropriating a temporary easement, a permanent easement, and a simple fee interest in certain real estate located at 1931 Logan Avenue, Hamilton, Ohio. M&L Storage Facilities LLC property owner. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Nab.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Councilmember Nab, second by Vice Mayor Pullman. Discussion or comment on this one? Okay, roll call.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 5-0.
Okay. Record reflect that Councilmember Lauer has rejoined us. And item number 22, please.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute the purchase of a permanent utility easement at 1950 Benninghoffen Avenue located within the city of Hamilton, Ohio. Fred House Jr., property owner, city of Hamilton purchaser. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Vice Mayor Pullman. Discussion on this one? Okay. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
We now go to new legislation, agenda item number 23, first reading of an ordinance involving 48 North Brookwood Avenue, location that involves a Valvoline use for that property.
An ordinance approving a preliminary and final PD plan development proposal and specific use request at 48 North Brookwood Avenue to allow Valvoline instant oil change use automotive repair on property zoned BPD business plan development with 1 variance request to the City of Hamilton zoning ordinance. Brent Myers, C/O, Casto, applicant, first reading.
Thank you. We go to agenda item number 24, first reading of an ordinance involving a right-of-way.
An ordinance dedicating a 242 square foot portion of lot 26987 as right-of-way located at Wayne Avenue and North B Street situated in the First Ward North Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton applicant, first reading.
Thank you. We go to agenda item number 25, first reading of an ordinance also involving a right-of-way.
An ordinance dedicating a 10,070 square foot portion of lot 2520 as right-of-way situated at South D Street and New London Road situated in the First Ward South Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton applicant, first reading.
Thank you. We go to agenda item number 26, two readings of an ordinance involving a substantial amendment to the annual action plan update for fiscal years 2022 and 2023.
An ordinance approving the City of Hamilton's substantial amendment annual action plan update for fiscal year 2022 through 2023, delineating the statement of objectives and proposed use of community development block grant CDBG funds and authorizing the submittal of said plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. The City of Hamilton approves the accepting, amending, budgeting, and appropriation of up to $148,200.72 for public facilities improvements. City of Hamilton applicant, first of 2 readings.
Mayor.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read a second time by its title.
Second.
Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 6-0.
Thank you. Second reading of that ordinance now, please.
An ordinance approving the City of Hamilton Substantial Amendment Annual Action Plan Update for fiscal year 2022 through 2023, delineating the statement of objectives and proposed use of Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds, and authorizing the submittal of said plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. The City of Hamilton approves the accepting, amending, budgeting, and appropriation of up to $148,200.72 for public facilities improvements. City of Hamilton applicant, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
And Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Comments on this one? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 6-0.
Okay, we now go to agenda item number 27, which is the first reading of an ordinance involving short-term rentals.
An ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Hamilton, Ohio by amending Chapter 758 short-term rentals pertaining to short-term rental license regulations, first reading.
Here we go to agenda item number 28, which is a resolution involving a objection involving tailgaters, sports bar.
A resolution objecting to the request to the application for the transfer of a D5 and D6 liquor permit to Business and Entertainment Solutions LLC, doing business as Tailgaters Sports Bar, from J. Mad Ox LLC, doing business as Mad Ox Brew and Q's, located at 1079 Millville Avenue, Hamilton, Ohio, 45013, and directing the city clerk to request a hearing to determine whether such liquor permit request shall be denied.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Lauer.
I'd like to make a motion that the resolution be adopted.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Lauer, seconded by Councilmember Ryan. Discussion on this one. Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Resolution adopted, 6-0.
Audience, City Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just would like to cover two infrastructure road closure updates. First is Main Street, the 100 block of Main Street has been closed since Monday, and that was due to infrastructure utility improvements for a new business and new housing units. It was scheduled to be reopened late on tomorrow afternoon. The latest update is we're going to get it open in the morning. So I'd like to commend our infrastructure team for working diligently to get that work done ahead of schedule, and we'll have that back open tomorrow morning. The other is Millville Avenue. This has been a long-term project, updating all the utilities there in anticipation of a 2025 repaving that'll take place. I would like for the clerk to bring up a couple items, couple graphics. The first is a detour map. So this map is a detailed route for avoiding the construction and also for allowing visitors to our small businesses that do remain open for business. And we want to highlight that those businesses are there and open to service. Additionally, we are doing a video series calling it the 17 Days of Supporting Millville. So it's a series of videos promoting 17 small businesses, and each of those videos will air between September 13th and 29th, highlight those businesses, as well as culminating with a social mixer on October 1st at Nick and Norm's to celebrate that. So again, commending our utility infrastructure for working diligently for that, understanding the impact that has on our businesses and residents, and knowing that we're working very hard to mitigate that impact and work with our residents and businesses to make sure that they're successful. Thank you.
Thank you for the video supporting Millville businesses. That's a great idea. Audience of Council.
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
I want to remind everybody that on this Friday, September 13th, Inspiration Studios, which is a great organization for young adults with disabilities that do our fantastic artwork and which is close to my heart. And I think they have some openings maybe still for the golf outing. It will be at Twin Run. Registration starts at 8:30 in the morning. Shotgun start will be at 10 a.m. I do have Tiger Mayor Woods right here. He's on my team, so I'm sure we're going to ace everybody.
The severely injured Tiger Woods comparison might be appropriate.
Yeah,
Tiger Woods could not golf.
but it's a great benefit to raise money for this organization. If you have any golfers, it's not that bad for a golf outing. It's a great day. You also get to see the artists do the artwork on the wall inside Twin Run's, what do you call it? Their area, their cafeteria. Whatever. I've lost what I was thinking on that one. But it's they'll do artwork the whole day while we're playing golf. So any golfers, get a hold of them. You find them on Facebook. You got my number, give me a call, and I'll get you in there. You want to donate anything, they'll still take donations for door prizes. Great organization. If not, just come out and see me and the mayor hack up the really nice golf course we got out there. Thank you.
I want to say thank you for mentioning Inside Out Art Studio, because that is a real Hamilton success story.
It is.
All over the place. It's a Hamilton success story, and it's been a big addition, I think, to downtown High Street, but it's just a great story. It really is.
It also gives my son quite a bit of things to do 3 days a week and not drive me crazy too much, but he does. It brought out a lot of talent that I never knew he had, so that was pretty cool.
Anyone else on council?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I just want to say thank you to a couple of our establishments. As summer's winding down, Tano Bistro this summer hosted a weekly event for our 17 neighborhoods. And that event, they've provided small bites, and it brought our neighbors together in all of the different neighborhoods. Everyone is welcome to any of those. They are 5 till 6:30 on Thursdays, and I think there's 1 or 2 left this weekend as New London, Rossville neighborhoods coming together. But it's been really great. I've tried to attend as many as I can, met a lot of great people. Also, Spooky Nook has opened their doors for free for families to come and enjoy and get to know each other, and that's been a summer event. So thanks to our partners. There are many, many others who do so much for our city, but this has been really unique and fun. So thank you to them.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Lauer.
I would like to announce Bob Harris's street naming event is this Saturday at noon at his shop on 2nd Street. I'm not quite certain. I'm sure you'll see us set up out there. Mallory, do you have an address?
It's 429.
429.
I think is what it was.
South Second.
Bob Harris has given to so many people, so many young people in our community. He has been a leader, sometimes on some unpopular issues, but he has fought for what he has thought was best for his community and the community as a whole. So I would encourage anybody who knows Bob Harris to come out that day and just visit him. I'm sure he'd be glad to see everybody come and join in the festivity. The other thing, I'd like to congratulate Adam Helms. What a great show he put on this weekend. He's done a great job with this, but man, this past weekend really just put an exclamation point on what he's done there. I believe it had over 5,000 people, and it was a weekend of good times. So the other thing I got 3 others that I'd like to just say something about. Liz Hayden, you've done a great job with the short-term rental. I know that it's been a tough battle for you, and I respect all your efforts in trying to get this thing narrowed down to helping our citizens come to amends with this. So I appreciate all your efforts and all your team's efforts. Dan Arthur, you're wrapping up a great season of street paving, and I think our citizens appreciate it. It was a rough time for a while, and I'm sure there's others out there that are involved. But Alan Messer, man, I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in your presentation tonight. I wanted you to get up there and spike the football because I know Kentucky's got Georgia this weekend at home. But man, Alan Messer, this is kind of a big reason why I wanted to join council. I believe that helping some of our neighborhoods who have been underserved in the past and getting this moving forward is a big reason why I ran and is a big reason why I'm here. I believe that this is the first piece of getting some of these neighborhoods moving in the right direction, getting their streets corrected, getting the infrastructure corrected. And I know you've got a team of people that are behind you. If there's any support that I can throw your way, I think it is important to raise these neighborhoods up to the rest of the quality of Hamilton, because I think that's the only way that we make a better community as a whole. So thank you very much.
Anyone else on council? Thanks, Bob, for recognizing, thanks, Councilmember Lauer, for recognizing so many of our city employees. I was going to talk about Bob Harris next. We got a whole bunch of all-stars in this room, outside this room. It's amazing. Bob Harris, he earned that street, honorary street naming, everything from cleanups to supporting businesses to leading SECA for decades. So he's just been a big addition to our city. I also want to thank Rivers Edge volunteers. Great music has drawn great crowds. And the one Saturday or Friday night, the average age is probably 25. I think they were all under 25, basically. And everybody was appreciative. They'd walk up to the volunteers and say, appreciate you. I mean, it's really cool to hear that from young people. And basically, you're just doing your job as a volunteer. But worked out really well. And again, it's been a great year for Rivers Edge and Adam Helms. Again, an all-star. One thing I want to mention about, there was a bike rally here in Hamilton, and Sunday morning, a lot of folks weren't probably moving around much Sunday morning at 10:30, but they had a bike rally for adults as well as juveniles, young people. And Boys and Girls Club donated bikes to some of these youngsters who've never had a bike before in their entire life. All of a sudden, they're going around in circles there right by Casual Pint, in that parking lot. And luckily, Sheriff's Department led these youngsters on bikes to Flubs. So what a great memory for your first bike ride. We're going to Flubs. So there's a lot of folks to thank for that bike rally, but it continues to grow every year. Now the adults went to the Dave Ballou bike path, bike trail, and went greater distance, but those young people had their first bike and they could take it home with them. Was really a great thing. Again, Boys and Girls Club is doing a great job connecting young people to great experiences, great memories, and making them succeed in life. And so it's just a great event, and it's going to continue to grow. So there's still a lot going on. I know summer's winding down, but Rivers Edge hasn't wound down yet because we got Corn Stand Jam. Pink Floyd, I think, is probably the last one of the year. So
Hispanic Festival. Hispanic Festival.
Yes, Hispanic Festival. Man, many things to do. Yeah. Okay, if there's nothing else, you wish to go into executive session, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, for 3 reasons. First, to consider the confidential information related to specific business strategy or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance. Second, to consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or official. And third, to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject of imminent court action.
Regarding the first request for executive session, is there a motion that executive session is necessary to protect the interest of the applicant or the possible investment or expenditure of public funds to be made in connection with the economic development project?
So moved.
Second. Councilmember Vaughn, seconded by Vice Mayor Pullman. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 6-0.
Thank you. That first request at 7:39, motion was passed. Is there a motion that we go into executive session for the stated purposes given by the city manager?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nab, second by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 6-0.
Okay, 7:39, we're going to go in executive session. We'll come out of executive session and reconvene a regular meeting, and then adjourn the regular meeting, but there'll be no more public business. when we come out of executive session, except to adjourn the meeting. Okay, thank you all for your